Welcome to Three Questions, brought to you by the Washington State 18th Legislative District. I am your host, Wil Fuentes. There's a lot of stupid happening in Washington, D.C., which is impacting Washington State and Clark County. Join us as we dive into some hot topics and learn from local leaders and local politicians about what's happening in our country. Our guest today is Tim Probst, Chair of the Clark County Democrats. Question number one. Tim, it seems like folks know that the orange man bad narrative, and they know what side they're on, right? But Democrats have so much to offer and a lot of great things that they're doing. So how can Democrats spend more time talking about the great things that we're doing, but we're supporting working families? Tell me a little bit more about that.
That's so important, and there's a really clear answer. Look, our first principle is that America is for all of us, not just some of us. And we've got three really practical points of view about that. We need good jobs, we need affordable lives, and we need some common decency in this country again. And then for the longer term inspirational work, we need to be looking at how we are building an economy that is for all of us and creating middle class jobs as the central priority of the economy. And how are we changing and reforming our human services so that they're focused on human dignity and helping people move up into those middle class jobs as well. And then on the foreign policy sphere, we need to be looking at how our nation is stepping into its role as the world's foremost promoter of democracy and human rights. Here at home, we need to watch out for that. And across the world, we need to actively and very openly be promoting that and standing up for countries that are standing with us on those issues. I think that is how we show people that we aren't just saying we're against burning down what we have, but not only that, we aren't just for the status quo, we have a future that we're aiming for, and we can get there together by uniting the working class behind us.
Tim, I love that. So it's not just about being against Trump. It's really about articulating the importance that our policies, the democratic policies make on working class families, important foreign policy, as you mentioned, right?
Yes.
And then just really uplifting the middle class, right? And more importantly, preserving democracy in this country.
Absolutely. And the contrast today is so clear. Democrats are the good guys in this fight, and it couldn't be more clear. We actually are not taking advantage of that fact, that we're standing up for 95% of this country. But we're not talking about it. We keep taking the debate. There are these economic royalists out there who will divide our country to keep us from focusing on the real issue, which is that the working people in this nation are being oppressed, right? Right now we're in a fight about healthcare premiums for working class people versus giant tax breaks for billionaires so that they can get billions more. That's a really big deal. And the economic royalists are trying to divide us by dropping in these cultural issues to divide us against one another, when really we need to be focused on the bread and butter issues.
Thank you, absolutely. Thank you. And I want to get back to, the economic royalists, because I think that's an FDR thing.
Yeah.
But I want to make one point. It sounds to me that the two patriots, the true lovers of America, are the Democrats.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we're standing up for the Constitution. We're standing up for everything this nation has ever stood for. Just the chance for every person to move up, right? That is changing under our feet. And we're the ones saying, no, we don't want that ground to erode under our feet. The economic royalists, let's remember that FDR won 4 presidential elections. He was one of the most popular politicians ever in the history of our nation. And he didn't always talk about economic royalists, but he would use that term not about every wealthy person, not about every politician, but about those who are against changing the status quo because the status quo helps them. And even if it's oppressing working people, even if it's unfair, in this case, even if, say, your wife has cancer and you have to choose between getting all the meds or paying the rent that month, right? Those are changes that need to be made. And when somebody is saying, if we start making those changes in this country, next year I'm not going to be able to win the high score on the richest man in the world game, those are the royalists we're after. I want to be really clear about that too, because plenty of wealthy people, plenty of politicians are doing exactly the right thing and trying to make this world better and better for future generations. Some of them are not. Some of them are just focused on their own bottom line, and they really don't care how that impacts the person who's working for him every day. Those are the folks who we're opposed to, and we're going to openly oppose, and we're going to win.
A lot of great points. Thank you, Tim, for that answer.
Yeah.
Question number 2. Tim, we have a bunch of leaders in the White House. They're building a $200 million golden ballroom. Help me understand, how does that help everyday American families with groceries, with gas, with healthcare? How does that help anybody?
Yeah, Will, it doesn't. We all know this. We also all know that this guy and his friends have never cared about working people in America. He's got a bunch of billionaires funding his billionaire campaign to make more money for billionaires. His first thing that he did the first term and his first thing he did the second term was cut more taxes for more billionaires. To them, it's just a game to try to get to be the guy with the most billions. Another billion for a guy who has $10 billion is not going to change their life, right? This man does not care about working people. He does have marketing companies who can convince some working people that he does care about them, or he can throw out these very divisive anti-immigrant kind of things to try to peel off people and make them believe something is true that isn't. We've just seen this all the time. Name one good thing he's done for working people. I can name 10 from Democrats. He hasn't done a thing for working people, and he's not going to. If you're a working person, you want a better life, you better vote for the Democrats, because this guy's a fake.
I can't think of anything that this man has done in his administration that supports American families, the working class folk, right? But there's a bunch of policies, to your point, that he's implementing, right?
Yeah,
that he's
absolutely.
advocating and supporting
That's hurting
against
people.
That's hurting us.
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
Medicaid is a really good example. Can you talk a little bit about how that would potentially impact Washingtonians and folks here in Clark County?
Absolutely. Medicare and Medicaid and Obamacare too. Right? I mean, people's premiums are going to skyrocket because of what's in the bill that they're trying to pass right now. Working people's healthcare premiums, they're going to lose their healthcare. And why? Well, we want to make cuts so that we can give bigger cuts to the billionaires. And there's some 100 millionaires in there too who are going to get those cuts. But it is devastating for people's lives. People are dying, right? Middle-class working people who can't get care, and they die. And this is proven across the world. We are far behind all other of the wealthy countries.
That's right.
In what happens to working people here with their health. Yeah. And that's because we have a group in power who doesn't care. What they care about is cutting those taxes for themselves, not for everybody, for themselves. And convincing enough working people that don't worry, it's good. Or don't worry, we don't like these other guys, look at them instead, right? They divide us. We have to stop taking that bait.
Yeah. I spoke to my mother today. She's terrified. She's recently retired. She's concerned that her healthcare costs will increase significantly and won't be able to afford them.
Yeah.
On the Social Security check that she gets every single day.
Right.
And she's not alone.
Yeah.
This is happening to a lot of folks
Right
in Clark County, in Washington State, across this nation.
Absolutely. First of all, I'm sorry to hear that about your mom, and to all those people out there everywhere who are, it's 90% of this country who are hurting, and half the country is hurting in the way that, am I going to be living in my car in a couple of months? Like, people are scared. And our party, what I would tell your mom is, we're going to get out there and we're going to win elections because we're going to be strategic and smart this time, and we're going to win so that we can be in power and defend working people and make sure people get decent wages, fairness at work, plenty of good health care, and have a decent life. This is supposed to be a middle-class foundation country, and it's turning into a playground for the rich, and that's not what it was ever supposed to be, and we're going to take it back.
That's right, because those in the White House, they don't care. They don't give a shit. Question number 3. Now, Tim, I'd like to know that if we center our messaging, or the Democratic messaging, around working families, are we abandoning other issues that people care about?
No, just the opposite. We are empowering ourselves to, first of all, win elections, and second of all, advance our agenda and make the world that's in our minds and in our vision. So we need to unite the working families around us. First of all, because we are far better for them. It's authentic. Secondly, that helps us win those elections. And then third, we advance all of our democratic and progressive issues when we are in power and we can advance. Look at what Washington State has done compared to the country. Look at the minimum wage in Washington State compared to the country.
Just recently went up.
Right? And, insurance for long-term care, paid family medical leave. There's a huge list. I won't go into the huge list. When we win elections, we advance all of our issues together. So we need to unite those working families behind us in elections because A, we're better for them, and B, that advances our whole agenda.
Beautifully said. Now, what can folks do at the local level to ensure that we're winning elections, to ensure that we're supporting policies that have a positive impact on everyone, working families, other communities? What can we do?
I'm going to give you 3 quick ones.
Let's do it.
Look, first, vote for your local Democrats. Locally, people are here for the right reasons. They're fighting for you. Vote for your local Democrats. Secondly, go to clarkcountydems.com, clarkcountydems.com, and join in with us. Come to our meetings. Start grouping up with us. Start teaming up with us. It'll make you feel better. You're doing something. And third, and this is important, and I'm sorry to go negative, but it's important. Except for 2 that I know of, every local Republican elected official has genuflected at the feet of Donald Trump and will not use any independent thinking or courage or consideration for what their voters actually want. They are 100% following the rules as given to them by the top, by their political boss, Donald Trump. And they are not thinking about what do my voters want. They're thinking about what has Donald Trump told me to think, and I will do that. That is against freedom, patriotism, independent thinking, being an adult. It's wrong. And that is not the kind of leadership that we want here in Clark County. So vote for Democrats and accept that the situation we're in right now, which I don't like at all, is that all but 2 of the Republicans who are elected in elected office are just phoning it in and doing exactly what Trump tells them. And that is not thinking about what their voters need. That's important.
Absolutely. We elected leaders, right?
Yes.
To represent our communities, not followers who just follow orders from, the President of the United States.
They're called representatives.
That's it.
Right?
For a reason. Tim, thank you so much. I think you've provided a lot of great advice, and some really good points on how important it is to vote Democrat, because Democrats truly care about people. They care about our communities. They care about working families. They care about brown people. They care about LGBTQ. They care about everyone.
Exactly.
And that is folks, you need to know that. You need to understand that that's what Democrats are here for, to support our community members.
Circling back to your first question, America is for all of us. Clark County is for all of us. The economy is for all of us. That's why we keep repeating that.
Again, Democrats are the true patriots.
I love it.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.
Yep.
And that's our show for today. Thank you for watching, and let us know who you want to see as a guest in future shows by dropping a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell, and we'll see you next time.